Hey, Garry.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's up, man?
I'm Nella. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too.
I'm Clements.
How are you, Sean? How are you?
Good, you?
You know, they do so bad.
I'm not interviewing, buddy.
Is this a hot seat?
It is indeed. Well, Garry, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while since you've been before us and a number of new faces on the commission. So take a minute and tell us about yourself and then tell us why you want to be a circuit court judge.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I've been a lawyer now for 32 years. Time flies by pretty quickly. Became a lawyer in '86. Did some commercial litigation work, insurance work in Jacksonville for a little while. Ended up taking a job in the Palatka Public Defender's Office and in '89 actually. And because of the retirement of Howard Pearl, ended up being trained for capital defense litigation, took over the capital cases for Putnam and St. Johns counties in the Public Defender's Office. And then did a murder trial with Patrick Mann and Steve Alexander as the co-counsel for the state. And after that trial was over with, that murder trial, Steve hired me as a prosecutor, as a felony prosecutor in Palatka. And I was with the state attorney's office for about 8.5 years. Eventually, when John Tanner came in and was state attorney, he bumped me up to what they call deputy division chief, basically managing the office in Palatka, and ended up doing their murder cases and high-profile cases. And then in 2002, John Tanner's policy was that if you were going to run for office, you couldn't stay in the state attorney's office. And so I left and ran for county judge against Libby Morris and lost by a little less than 500 votes. And but it got me into private practice, and I've been in private practice ever since then. Mostly doing criminal defense work. I still do murder cases. Just had one in St. Augustine about a month and a half ago. Do a good amount of family law, though we've tapered that down recently because of the criminal stuff. And do a little bit of civil, a little bit of everything else that comes in through the door. But enjoying running my own office. I just have myself and Pat Holloway, who's my secretary. The reason I want to become judge, and I've gone through this process before, and I still, I really enjoyed my time doing public service work, both as an assistant public defender and as a prosecutor. And as you can see from my background, I've pretty much done it all. But I think that being a lawyer and enjoying public service work is epitomized by becoming a judge. I've wanted to be a judge for a number of years now. I've seen everything, whether it's a murder case, a junction case, people suing each other for money. I think I have hopefully a very good personality. I hopefully have a good reputation for being a hard worker. I haven't seen less than a 60-hour work week in I don't know how long. So I'm willing to put in the time and work and effort, the legal research, to be as efficient as I can for whatever position I take. I know it's a vacancy that was created by Judge DuPont's situation. But whatever they put me, whatever I do, I want to work as hard as I can for the public, be a good representative of the judicial system, be as efficient as we can, and certainly do everything I can to help move cases along, resolve cases, try cases. I've done, as you see, probably about 300 jury trials at this point in my life, and would really appreciate and enjoy being the next judge.
Judge Parsons reached out through retirement and ill health and got to me and said you were one of the best attorneys you've ever seen in the courtroom, so I should know that.
His daughter, it's funny you say that because I was telling Judge Fox this yesterday. I got a call from Kelly, who I may have met somewhere along the way. I got this call from Kelly Parsons, and then so I Googled her, and I saw she does employment law, and I'm going, okay, So, but she called me and she said, yeah, that Judge Parsons had passed along his recommendation and all family support. And so it's nuts. So
You are the president of the Putnam County Bar?
I was until this year. I did it for about 10 years. I don't know if that's because nobody else wanted to do it or how that worked out, but we have about 56 members, and we have our annual shed dinner for the judges every year, and I've enjoyed doing it. I stepped down actually because I think every organization, for the health of the organization, you do need to have other people willing to step up and become involved to do the things that need to be done. I've tried to get more of the volunteer pro bono bar involved doing clinics, and we've had some response with legal aid in coordinating that, but I'd just like to see more things done and more people involved in our bar association.
Let me ask you, right now, the way the chief has assigned divisions, the empty docket is here in Circuit Civil in Daytona, and the docket is just way backed up. I know on a single case, I have 7 motions I'm trying to get hearing time on, and I'm waiting for the permanent judge to be assigned.
Okay.
How do you deal with, whether it's that docket or the St. John's Civil or, family dockets that are just way backed up? How would you sort of triage that if you came in as a judge with the backed up docket?
Well, triage is probably the best word for it because we dealt with that when I was a state attorney. I mean, when I came in and took over for another former prosecutor, and at that time I was dealing with Judge Boyle's docket. I think we had, in that division, we had like 400 cases active. And back then you also had to do your own intake and filing decision and all that sort of stuff. By the time I left, I think we had it down to about 150 in that division. Really what you have to do is you have to try to prioritize cases. It's time management. It's taking stuff home with you, doing work at night, drafting orders, using your time wisely as far as scheduling hearings, scheduling trials, because both in the civil side and the criminal side, you have to be willing to set aside the time and prioritize trials as well too, because that can inevitably lead to settlements as well too. So hopefully with a combination of hard work and taking home work with me and doing what needs to be done and doing the legal research or being involved in that, and certainly also having a good rapport with the local bar and the attorneys that are involved in the docket to try to get more involved in getting cases done, scheduling and getting mediations done, just whatever needs to be done to prioritize and become more efficient in this. It can be done, it's just the way it's handled and dealt with.
You're thinking about that though, if you take a pay cut, taking his work home with you.
My wife is sitting right behind you, Mark.
So why do you want to take a pay cut?
Well, it's not about that. It's never been about that. I mean, if you just did the numbers on it, I've been past what a judge would make even at a circuit level for a long, long time. Certainly that's something you think about, and I'm not saying that the salary for a circuit judge position is not a good salary. It is. For a lot of folks, that's a lot of money, and it's rightful to look at it that way, but I think the public service aspect about it is what draws me to want to, go this route of trying to become a judge, and I just know that I'd enjoy doing it, so I want to do it.
I should let you know that your references all told me that you probably have more experience, a lot of courtroom experience than anybody else on our list.
What judge do you especially admire and would like to try to emulate here on the bench?
I don't know if you ever or would know who Judge Boyles was.
I worked for him.
Okay. So I had the pleasure of, when I first became a prosecutor, he had just, when he became judge, which he was state attorney for 25 years and did a little private practice for a couple of years. When he took the bench, I was his assigned prosecutor. He was a man of very few words. Some people were intimidated by that because they didn't know what he was thinking or where he was coming from and thought they didn't like him because he wasn't saying anything. But he was a very humble person. And I think that's important when you're a public servant to have that humility in you. He was a very, within himself, he was a very good people person. Once he got to know you, I mean, he'd tell you jokes, he was good with defendants, he had a very good personality and was very good about making decisions timely. We never really had ever any problems with backlogs or issues, and I really enjoyed working for him. I enjoyed working, Judge Parsons was another good one. It's funny how these things work out. When he took the bench, I was his assigned prosecutor then at the lab. This was, obviously, he came on and was transferred some years later to Volusia County, but, and he was very complimentary too. I've never seen a judge, Judge Parsons, be as quick-minded as, and I've been before a lot of good judges, but he was very good about ruling on the bench. And some of the things that he would rule about were very complicated issues, and he'd be upheld by the Fifth of the Florida Supreme Court. So those are two of the judges that really, come to mind and I've dealt with personally, and probably the best examples I give you. And I don't, in Chad dinners and investitures that I've talked about, I've spoken about both of them. I tell all the other judges, look, no offense, but here's who I really admire the most to this day.
Garry, thank you for coming in this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
As you know, we will let everyone know by the end of the day.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Garry.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Usually.
See you.
Yeah, thanks.